What is going on, Ive Warriors? So today we're going to talk about something interesting. The Liver King is still going. The Liver King is still going. I actually completely disconnected from even before he went viral for the fact that he was taking PEDs and he was pretending he wasn't. I didn't really know of him until that moment. And then I used that moment to talk about the importance of people identifying or just attaching themselves to the creator, the content creator, and not the actual substance of what's being done. And then because he was so not controversial, but he told the line of controversy where he was more shock factor, right? From eating raw meat, and then that's what he was teaching people to do. I heard of him in that moment, literally for the first time, and then I've seen on Twitter that they were posting things about him, and I noticed that the man looks so old now. Like it looks like he's aged 15, 20, 25 years since the videos from before, since the videos where he was talking about admitting to taking PEDs. So now he's still doing what he did before. His body, in my opinion, looks the same, but satellite cells is a thing, guys. So even if you went on a cycle, if you got off a cycle, you don't necessarily lose all your muscles. There is some sort of a residual effect that happens from prolonged use of PEDs. You actually can sustain some of that muscle depending on how your workout and your eating regimen. But he looks like he's struggling. He looks like he's struggling. He looks like he's shaking now when he's eating, which I didn't remember seeing from before. So there's a lot of to be concerned about. Now, one thing I definitely want to address is he's eating all of these raw foods, and I think it's a little bit irresponsible to tell other people to eat raw food because he has his own farm, I guess, right? He has his own farm where he raises his own food that he can, he can kill and eat or whatever. But if you go to the grocery store and you grab meat and eat it on your own, and it's raw and you've not cooked it, there's a chance that you can get varying different types of diseases that you haven't been able to burn off. And I don't care if you clean it, it could still be in the center of that meat. So it's actually a little bit concerning that that's what he's trying to teach you when he knows that you're more than likely, the person who's watching this on social media via the internet, do not have your own personal farm where you're killing all these different animals and then eating their whatever, like their flesh or whatever. You're not doing none of that stuff. And then he's just doing crazy things now. He's just mixing his meat with milk. It's all about, I guess it's all about more shock value, continuous shock value. He doesn't really practice what he's preaching either at the same time because he's talking about living the primal life. But then, I mean, he had that big house where he was talking to us from like a king's chair when he was telling us about how bad he felt about using PEDs. But then on the top of that, now he's flying on a private jet. He has a personal chef. So he's not coming off as even primal anymore. But I think he's trying to connect different dots of like the old, Instagram thing where, hey, you got your own private jet and that's the motivational thing or the eye-catchy thing. So he's mixing private jet with eating animals raw. which you should not do, by the way. I can't emphasize that anymore. You should not eat raw food, because raw food, there's a possibility that they could be contaminated with different types of diseases. And it's best that you 100% cook your food 100%, so that you at least have the peace of mind that you more than likely killed that disease. But he's over here preaching to not do that. But I don't know if he necessarily got off his cycle, or he got off his cycle and then got back on it, or what have you. But something definitely seems off with the Liver King. And I don't know I don't know why. Maybe eating these raw foods is catching up to him. Maybe just getting off the cycle and trying to struggle, and he's struggling because maybe he has to do a lot more to maintain his physique, or maybe he has the psychological effect of thinking he has to do a lot more, therefore he's doing a lot more. I don't know, but it does look concerning to me. And for anyone who follows him, I am concerned that you are going to follow these things where you don't have the exact resources that he does. And I'm not even talking about performance enhancing. I'm talking about just eating raw food. I don't know, man. I know he's doing the shock value thing. I know that's his thing. That's always been a thing. Even when we look at, TikTok videos where people are like power lifting or bench pressing like people on top of their bars, or like different concoctions of stuff and balancing and doing all these dangerous things when they're working out that are unnecessary. It's the whole social media fitness shock value thing, and he rides the shock value of basically eating raw food. But hopefully, I don't know, man. He seems to still have a lot of followers too. So I'm just like in a lot of views. So I don't know if this is actually because people are watching him in like awe of disgust, or if people are watching him, and I'm sure that there's probably a big portion of that are watching him to follow what he's saying and to try to live the lifestyle that he's preaching, although sometimes he's in a private jet, which I don't know. That goes against, in my opinion, living like your ancestors. You should be living off the land the entire time, in my opinion. But I guess he makes so much money, right, that he doesn't want to just live that primal lifestyle because the money is too enticing not to use it, I guess. All right, guys. Let me know what you think. I know this is a little bit of a different video where we're kind of discussing a fitness influencer, but it is an important thing. It's still an important topic where fitness influencers, like people need to disconnect themselves from the influencer and connect themselves from the information. And by information, it's not just accepting what the influencer says, is also looking at the information for yourself. The influencer might give you a window to the information, but then you have to research that information yourself so that you can feel that peace of mind that this thing is a true thing, that this thing is something that works, that this thing is something that you can do safely, in my opinion. All right, until the next one, guys, this is Edward from Fledge Fitness. Peace out.